G'day there viewers and welcome to Ethics and Sustainability. We're following Osborne books, so let's get started. I'm Zoheb Alan. Ethics. What people collectively believe is right and wrong. So in your company, what people believe in is right and wrong, what society believes is right and wrong. This is slightly different to what morals are. Morals are what you personally believe is right and wrong. Ethical principles in the workplace. Now the last one is not specific to accountancy, but the rest of them, they're not specific to accountancy either, but they will be continuously tested throughout your accountancy studies, whereas equality won't, but it's a general principle in the workplace. Honesty and integrity means being honest and straightforward in your role. For example, not lying to your employer, claiming to have loads of qualifications when you don't, leaving early from work without telling anyone, things like this. This is being honest and integral in your duties. Objectivity. Objectivity is when you don't have undue influence on your decision making. For example, if your company is going to employ a family member or someone that is close to you, then you should refrain from attending the interview if you're a manager, because obviously your own personal views could influence the outcome of the interviews. Professional competence and due care. This means whether you have the right skills levels for your job and whether you can actually do the job. And if you're not, then you should tell someone. Confidentiality. Confidentiality means keeping confidential and sensitive information, keeping it a secret. Don't tell anyone. Don't tell your friend. Don't tell anyone outside of the company, and just keep it on a need-to-know basis. Professional behaviour. Professional behaviour means following your code of conduct at work, following rules and regulations, following the law. This is so in every profession, people are expected to have a certain level of behaviour, which involves not being late to work, not turning up drunk, wearing the right uniform, wearing the right clothing, etc., etc. Equality. Equality means treating everyone in the workplace equally, regardless of their sexuality, race, religion, or whatever personal stereotypes you might have. Put those to one side and treat everyone equally. Honesty and integrity means being straightforward and dealing fairly and truthfully. Do not lie, do not cook the books, do not falsify, fudge. People trust accountants, especially with money. Don't put yourself in compromising positions. For example, if you're counting money on your own, that it would be a compromising position. People would see that as a very strange thing to do. Objectivity means not allowing conflict of interest to cloud your judgments, e.g. declaring conflicts of interest. MPs need to declare all their business interests. Undue influence is when someone puts you in a compromising position. For example, the chief executive, if they're telling a finance director to sign off their expenses, to go and meet a customer in a nice flash hotel, drive a nice car, etc., etc., then this wouldn't be right, because the finance director is lower than the chief executive and therefore shouldn't be signing off their expenses. It should go really to the chairman, who's the director of who runs the board, and is slightly more senior than the chief executive. Professional competence. Professional competence means that you have the correct skills to do your job, and if not, you tell your manager or your client. Competence level. Achieving the certain levels of knowledge and skills. For example, a manager has a certain level of knowledge of skills and qualifications. For example, they normally qualified, whereas a junior might not be qualified. They might be only might have just 6 months experience or something, whereas a manager is likely to have several years experience. So this is the competence level that you're at. Due care. Due care means having the skills to do a particular job. So, for example, if you don't work in tax and then suddenly someone asks you to do a tax job, then you don't have them skills. You've never done them before. You might need help, you might need guidance, you might need extra training. These are all things that you might need to do this job. Actions. You could take extra training. You could go on CPD. CPD means continuous professional development. It's a type of training for your role. So, for example, you might take an Excel course. You might do watch a e-learning video. There's loads of different types of CPD you can do. Go to a conference. If you don't know, you can ask for help. You can tell others, your manager or your client, if you don't feel that you've got the right skills and competence, and you should do that if you don't. Confidentiality. Confidentiality means sensitive data. It's covered by the Data Protection Act, so you don't disclose the sensitive information unless authorized to do so by a manager or a client. Professional behavior. Professional behavior means to comply with the laws and regulations that relate to the accounting profession. Uphold the good reputation of the profession and its members. Comply with your code of conduct at work. For example, don't engage in tax avoidance. If evading tax, if you're an accountant, don't have a drink at work. That would go against the code of conduct normally. Some people do, but there's a time and a place to do everything, and just having a general drink at work is not very professional. Obviously, coming dressed appropriate for the role, meeting clients, etc., etc. These are all types of professional behaviour. Professional duty to disclose. So these are instances where you can disclose sensitive information to other parties, but these parties are authorised people, basically, so you should be disclosing to them. So, for example, if a tax officer requests it, then you should be disclosing the information. If there's a legal duty to do so, for example, a court request. Public interest, e.g. the client is funding terrorist activities, therefore you should be disclosing that, because they could be doing money laundering, trying to fund terrorism, and there is a duty to disclose this kind of information. Equality means treating everyone the same at work, regardless of their race, religion, their age and gender. Okay, thank you for listening. Next, we're going to be doing sustainability. Thank you for listening.